Assalamu alaikum, my sister, my brother. Pain doesn't just show up in your life to torture you. It's not a random hit, it's not chaos, and it's definitely not punishment without purpose. Pain is precise. It's calculated. It's sent by the one who knows you better than you know yourself. You think the struggle is a sign that you're falling behind, but that's the biggest lie you've ever believed. That pain, that hardship, that storm that's tearing through your life right now, that's proof you're on Allah's radar. That's a sign that the most powerful is paying attention to you. Do you even realize how deep that is? The creator of the heavens and the earth, He's watching you. You're not some invisible speck. You're not forgotten. When you get hit with hardship, it's not because you're nothing. It's because you're everything. It's because He wants to build you into someone unshakable. He wants to push you beyond the limits you set for yourself. You don't get greatness by sitting in comfort. You get it by bleeding, by breaking, and by rebuilding yourself from the ground up with His help. You've been told that pain is weakness. You've been conditioned to believe that if you're hurting, then you must be failing. But that's wrong. That's weak thinking. Real strength, real growth, that only comes through friction. It comes when Allah shakes your life so hard that you can't stand on your own anymore. He does that to pull your attention back to Him. Because as long as you feel like you've got it all figured out, you won't rely on Him. You won't seek Him. You won't cry to Him. There's a level of connection with Allah that only opens when you're shattered, when you're humbled, when you've been brought to your lowest. That's where sincerity lives. That's where the real transformation begins. Not in the moments when your pockets are full, your schedule is clean, and your heart is satisfied. No, it begins in the trenches. When your heart is bleeding, when you're screaming in sajda, and the only thing you've got left is His name on your lips. That's when you finally begin to taste what it means to truly rely on Him. Hardship is a divine invitation. It's a knock on your soul saying, it's time. Time to level up. Time to grow beyond who you were yesterday. Time to clean your heart, fix your intentions, and get serious about your mission on this earth. When Allah loves someone, He doesn't pamper them. He molds them. He hardens them. He tests them with pain that would break most people. And if you're going through that pain right now, understand this, He's training you. The pain is not the problem. The pain is the plan. Most people run from hardship. They pray for ease and then fall apart the second difficulty hits. But you're different. You're built to face it. You're built to go through it and come out stronger, wiser, and more spiritually locked in than you've ever been. That pain in your chest is a message, it's a call. And if you ignore it, you'll keep spinning in circles, stuck in your weakness. But if you face it head on, if you embrace it and grind through it with Allah by your side, you become unstoppable. You've got to stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is Allah trying to teach me? That's the real question. Because He doesn't waste pain. He doesn't test you just to watch you suffer. He tests you because He wants you to evolve. He wants your heart to soften, your arrogance to drop, and your reliance on Him to grow. He wants your tongue soaked in dua. He wants your limbs worn out from sujud. That's how He molds you into someone worthy of standing in front of Him on the Day of Judgment. Every hardship you face is a training ground. Won't strength, burn it. Through patience, through prayer, through resilience, through turning your tears into fuel. Because pain isn't a pit, it's a path. A path back to the one who never left you, even when you walked away. A path to your higher self. A path to the mission you were born for. But you've got to walk it. No shortcuts, no excuses, no complaining, just relentless movement through the fire. And when it burns, when it hurts so bad you can barely breathe, that's when you smile. Because that's when you know you're being shaped by the Master Himself. You're on His radar. And if the Lord of the worlds is the one putting you through it, then you better believe He's the one who'll get you through it. You just have to hold on. You just have to trust the process. You just have to keep showing up, even when it's dark. Especially when it's dark, because in that darkness, you're being purified, you're being forged. You're being prepared for something bigger. And that preparation doesn't come cheap. It comes with pain. It comes with sweat. It comes with crawling through the storm, with nothing but tawakkul in your heart. And that's what makes it beautiful. That's what makes it powerful. Because when you come out the other side, You won't just be stronger, you'll be transformed. That's why pain is a gift. That's why pain is proof that you matter. Because the people Allah ignores are the ones He lets stay asleep in comfort. But you're awake. You're in the fire. You're in the fight. And that's because He's not done with you. He's just getting started when you feel like giving up. When the pressure is suffocating and your legs are about to buckle, remember this, it's not happening to break you. It's happening to build you. You are not being punished, you are being chosen. You are not forgotten, you are being seen. Allah is watching every tear, every struggle, every breath you take in that hardship. And He's counting it. He's recording it. And He's turning it into something bigger than you can imagine. So don't you dare run from the pain. Don't you dare waste it. Embrace it. Use it. Let it pull you closer to the one who sent it. Let it become your fuel. Let it light the fire inside you that refuses to be extinguished no matter how hard the winds of this world blow against you. Because if Allah put you in it, then He saw something in you worth refining. And if He saw it, then it's real. Let the world break you. Let life throw its worst at you. But never forget that pain you're feeling is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of purpose, a sign of love, a sign that you were never ordinary, a sign that you're being carved into something eternal. We've been lied to. From the moment we opened our eyes in this world, we were told that success is ease, that happiness is comfort, and that pain is failure. But that's not the truth. That's a man-made illusion. That's the kind of thinking that keeps people soft, weak, entitled. Because the second something goes wrong, they fall apart. The moment they feel discomfort, they assume something's wrong. But in reality, that discomfort might be the most beautiful thing Allah ever gave you. Ease isn't always a blessing. That paycheck that came easy, that car that cost you nothing but pride, that relationship that distracts you from your salah but keeps you smiling, that isn't necessarily barakah. You think because something feels good, it must be good. But feelings lie. The soul is deeper than emotion. And sometimes ease is the rope of destruction disguised as peace. When life becomes too smooth, too comfortable, too indulgent, that's when your heart starts to rot. That's when your prayers get lazy. That's when you stop checking yourself. Because you think you're safe. You think Allah is happy with you. But maybe He's not testing you, because He's not even looking in your direction anymore. That's the scariest thing, to be forgotten. To be left alone in your delusions of ease while your soul silently starves. You want to know who Allah loves? He loves the ones He breaks, the ones He pressures, the ones He tests. Because they're still on the journey, they're still in the arena, they're still in the fight. And that pain you're carrying, that heavy, suffocating, relentless pressure, that's not a curse. That's divine attention. That's a sign you're still in the game. That's a sign He's still purifying you. Look at the lives of the prophets. Do you think they were showered with ease and applause? No, they were humiliated, rejected, tortured, starved, exiled. They cried until their eyes went blind. They bled. They lost their children. They walked this earth with nothing but faith and a mission. And still, they were the most beloved to Allah. So where did we get this delusion that hardship is a curse? It's not a curse. It's a crown. And only the strong get to wear it. But we've got people breaking down over small tests. A bill they can't pay, a job they didn't get, a relationship that failed, and they scream, "Why me?" But the real question is, why not you? Why do you think you're too good to struggle? Why do you think you deserve a free pass in a world that was designed to test your soul every single day? This dunya was never meant to be easy. It was meant to expose you. It was meant to break the fake in you and pull out the real. That only happens through hardship. And the crazy part, that pain that you think is killing you, it's actually saving you. It's waking you up. It's forcing you to confront the ugly parts of yourself you've been hiding, the arrogance, the attachment, the laziness, the distractions. That hardship you're cursing is the very thing that's pushing you back to your Lord. It's what makes you fall into sujud with sincerity. It's what makes you cry at night when no one's watching. It's what pulls you out of your ego and into your need for Him. That's not a curse. That's mercy. That's love in its rawest form. But we don't see it. Because we're obsessed with ease. We worship comfort. We've turned convenience into our God. And the moment something disturbs that comfort, we rebel. We lose faith. We forget that the ease of the dunya is often a trap. a test in disguise. There are people walking around with everything, money, status, luxury, and their hearts are dead. They haven't felt a real connection to Allah in years. But they smile, they post, they shine. Meanwhile, there's someone else crying through every night, praying with broken words, barely holding it together. And that person is rising with every tear. That person is winning, while the other one is asleep in delusion. You've got to flip your mindset. Stop looking at pain like it's the enemy. Stop looking at ease like it's always the prize. Sometimes ease is there to see what you'll do with it. Will you stay grateful? Will you remember Allah? Or will you get arrogant, complacent, forgetful? That's a test too. But it's the silent kind. The kind that eats away at your soul while you think everything's fine. The kind that sneaks up on you and blinds you before you even realize you are drifting. But hardship is loud. It wakes you up. It demands action. It screams in your face and tells you, fix this. It forces you to search for meaning, to reach out to your Lord, to grow. It burns, it humbles, it purifies. And if you survive it with your faith intact, you don't just survive, you transcend, you evolve. You become someone this world can't break. That's the real blessing. That's the real favor from Allah. The fire is where diamonds are made. Ease doesn't build legacy. Struggle does. Ease doesn't mold leaders. Pain does. Ease doesn't bring you to your knees in worship. Agony does. You think you're weak because you're hurting, but that hurt is a badge of honor. That suffering is a sign you're chosen. That heartbreak, that anxiety, that fear, that pressure that won't let you breathe, that's the signal that Allah hasn't left you alone. He's still working on you. He still sees something in you worth refining. That's why He hasn't made it easy. So what do? You embrace it. You stop begging for comfort and start begging for clarity. You ask Allah not to remove the test, but to make you strong enough to carry it. You stop chasing a life of ease and start chasing a life of meaning. Because ease won't fix your soul. But hardship will wake it up. It'll clean it. It'll rebuild it from the ground up. And when it's done, you won't just be healed. You'll be reborn. That's what hardship is. A mercy wrapped in pain. A divine favor dressed like disaster. And you've got two choices: complain or rise. Whine or grind, crumble or conquer. And the ones who choose to rise, they're the ones Allah elevates. They're the ones who taste the sweetness of iman that no amount of money or comfort could ever buy. When Allah loves you, He does not coddle you. He does not pamper you with a soft life. He doesn't decorate your path with flowers and sunshine. He puts you through the fire. He drags you across the battlefield. He breaks your pride, your attachments, your illusions, and He watches you crawl with nothing but your soul and your will left. Why? Because Allah doesn't use the weak for His mission. He uses the ones He has crushed, purified, rebuilt. And that only happens through pain. That only happens when you've been through so much you stop depending on anyone but Him. That only happens when He knows you're strong enough to carry a burden most people would collapse under. When Allah wants to elevate you, He tests you in ways that make no sense to the people around you. The Prophet lost his wealth, his health, his children, everything. He sat in that storm for years, but he didn't break, he didn't complain. Why? Because he understood this truth. When Allah tests you hard, it's because He trusts you hard. When Allah pushes you deep into hardship, it's because He's about to pull you higher than you ever thought possible. So stop thinking the pain is a sign that you're losing. Start realizing it's a sign that you're about to level up. This life isn't meant for comfort. That's not the mission. You weren't dropped into this world to relax. You were dropped into a battlefield. You were put here to fight your ego, your desires, your doubts, your distractions, your fears. And the more serious your mission, the heavier your load. That's the price of greatness. That's the cost of becoming someone who walks this earth like a soldier of tawakkul, a carrier of light, someone who brings strength and healing to others because they've survived what would have killed most people. That's not a title you're born with. That's a rank you earn through trial. Every hardship you face is a battlefield. And on that battlefield, Allah is watching. He's not looking at how clean you are, how rich you are, how easy your life is. He's watching how you carry yourself under fire. Did you curse Him or call to Him? Do you fold or do you fight? Do you crumble or do you stand back up and keep walking, even if it's with broken bones and bleeding feet? Because that's what makes you His soldier. That's what makes you one of the elite. Not your money, not your image, not your comfort, your perseverance, your submission, your refusal to quit when every part of you is screaming to give up. You look at other people's lives and wonder why they have it so easy. You see them smiling, traveling, achieving, and you sit there drowning, gasping for air, wondering if Allah forgot you. But He didn't. He's just building you differently. Because what He has planned for you requires pain. What He has prepared for your future needs a version of you that can only be born through agony. The easy life would have destroyed you. The smooth path would have made you arrogant. So He broke you to remake you. He took you into the storm so you'd come out a weapon. That's what you are. A weapon of faith, a sword of Sabr. And swords aren't made in gardens. They're forged in fire. They're beaten, melted, sharpened over and over until there's no softness left. That's what Allah is doing to you. He's removing the parts of you that can't survive your mission. He's burning away the doubt, the fear, the ego. He's forcing you to get real. And when He's done, you won't even recognize yourself. Because you won't be the weak, soft, distracted person you used to be. You'll be someone dangerous to the devil. You'll be someone who carries light into darkness and never flinches. But you have to endure. You have to get through the trial without losing your faith. Because that's the real test. Not just surviving, but surviving while still remembering who you are. Surviving while still saying, Alhamdulillah. Surviving while still standing up for Fajr, even if you were crying all night. Surviving while still doing dhikr with a broken heart. That's what separates the average from the elite. That's what separates the ones who get through life and the ones who conquer it. You want to be among the strong. You want Allah to use you for something meaningful. Then understand the most brutal battles are given to the most capable soldiers. That means the pain you're carrying isn't a punishment. It's a promotion. It's a sign that you're ready for more. That you've been chosen. That Allah sees something in you you've never seen in yourself. And He's pushing you to discover it. You think you're done. You're not done. You think this test is your end. It's your beginning. Every tear, every heartbreak, every rejection, every failure. It's all part of the grind. It's part of the curriculum. It's divine training. And the stronger you get, the harder the tests. That's how this works. That's how you rise. That's how legends are made. Stop comparing your journey to others. Stop crying about why it's harder for you. You're not here to live someone else's life. You're here to dominate your lane, to become the best version of you, to fulfill the exact mission Allah handcrafted for you. And that mission, it demands suffering. It demands discipline, it demands submission, and it demands trust. That's the hardest part, trusting that the pain has a purpose even when everything inside you is screaming in confusion. But that's faith, that's real belief. That's the iron inside you that says, even if I don't understand, I'll still walk forward. That's the grit Allah loves. That's the unshakable heart that says, even if this kills me, I'll stay true to Him. That's what makes you His soldier. That's what makes you undefeatable. People ask why the most beloved of Allah are tested the most. It's because Jannah is not for the fragile. It's for the forged. It's for those who tasted every kind of pain and still chose Allah. It's for those who bled in silence, cried in secret, but smiled in public because they knew their reward was with the one who sees everything. That's who you're becoming. If you hold on, if you stay patient, if you let the pain do its job. And when you come out of it, you won't be like the others. You won't break under pressure. You won't be distracted by dunya. You won't live chasing empty highs. You'll walk with purpose. You'll speak with conviction. You'll worship with intensity. Because you've seen what the fire feels like. And you've seen how Allah pulls you through it every time. That's the gift. That's the transformation. That's the legacy being built inside you through every test, every hardship, every sleepless night. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. And when the world sees the version of you that Allah has been building in the shadows, they won't recognize you. But He will. Because He made you feel like you're drowning. Like everything's caving in. Like every day is a new hit, a new wound, a new reason to break. The fire you're walking through is scorching your skin, burning your plans, ripping through your comfort zone. And you're thinking, this has to be the end. This is too much. This pain is going to kill me. But you've got it all wrong. That fire you're trapped in, that's not punishment. That's not destruction. That fire is purification. That fire is sacred. That fire is how Allah cleanses the ones He loves the most. Fire doesn't just destroy. Fire refines. Fire burns away impurities. Fire makes gold shine. You think Allah is breaking you, but He's polishing you. He's burning away the fake, the ego, the pride, the laziness, the dependence on people, the attachment to this weak world. He's not punishing you. He's revealing you. He's carving through the nonsense to expose what's real inside you. And that's why it hurts. Because everything that's not supposed to stay in your life is being forced to leave. That toxic comfort, that fragile identity, that cheap imitation of strength. All of it has to burn so the real you can rise. You can't evolve without the fire. You can't transform in comfort. That's just facts. Comfort keeps you stuck. Comfort keeps you soft. Comfort keeps you blind. But the fire is brutal. The fire is unforgiving. But the fire is the birthplace of transformation. It's where warriors are made. It's where sincerity is born. It's where your relationship with Allah stops being a theory and starts becoming reality. Because when life is good, most people forget. Their do's get lazy, their hearts get distracted, their salad turns into routine. But when the fire hits, when your world shatters, that's when the mask drops. That's when you fall face first into sujud and cry like a child. That's when your connection to Allah becomes real, raw, and alive. That's what the fire is doing. It's waking you up. It's purging the distractions. It's shaking your soul to remember why you're even here. It's stripping away the dunya layer by layer until you've got nothing left but your soul and your Lord. And it's in that state of complete exposure, complete vulnerability, that the real healing begins. That's when you start becoming someone that the angels talk about, someone the heavens recognize. Not because you're perfect, but because you stayed in the fire and didn't run. Because you trusted Allah when there was no reason to. Because you believed in the light even when you were choking on the darkness. You're not being destroyed. You're being reborn. You're being rebuilt brick by brick, layer by layer. And each layer is stronger than the last. Each scar you carry is a chapter in your training. Each tear you shed is a weapon in your arsenal. Because you survived another round. You endured another day. You didn't quit. You stayed in the storm. You stayed in the fire. And that makes you dangerous in the best way. It makes you a servant of Allah who's not shaken by wind, not broken by opinion, not derailed by rejection. Because you've already been to war. And Allah brought you back. You think you're weak. Weak people run from fire. You stayed. You kept praying. You kept going. You kept believing when your whole life felt like a nightmare. That's not weakness. That's power. That's resilience. That's tawakkul in action. And Allah sees that. He sees every moment you wanted to break but didn't. Every night you cried but still got up for Fajr. Every disappointment you swallowed and responded with patience. He's counting it. He's writing it. And He's turning it into something that'll leave you speechless on the day of judgment. You don't get to walk with Allah without being broken first. That's the price. That's the filter. Anyone can claim love. Anyone can speak faith. But when the fire comes, that's when the truth gets exposed. And the ones who survive it, the ones who crawl through the flames with nothing left but their due, that's who Allah honors. That's who He elevates. That's who He writes among the Sabrin, the Muttaqeen, the true believers. And you better believe they earned every ounce of that title through blood, sweat, and tears. So don't ask, when will this end? Ask, what is Allah refining in me right now? Don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, how is Allah shaping me into through this? Because if you're in the fire, it means there's gold inside you that still needs to be uncovered. It means there's greatness hiding underneath the distractions. It means Allah saw something in you that this world didn't. And He's not going to let you walk through life without unlocking it. That means pain is part of the process. That means the struggle is necessary. That means the loss, the betrayal, the failure. It's all part of your spiritual detox. You've been infected by this dunya. It's in the way you think, the way you react, the way you expect life to unfold. And the fire is burning all that away. It's cleansing your soul so that when you walk out of it, you're not the same. You're not bitter. You're not broken. You're sharper. You're purer. You're closer to Allah in a way comfort never could have given you. You can't fear the fire if you trust the one who lit it. Because He doesn't light it to destroy you. He lights it to refine you. And He's right there with you the entire time, watching, supporting, strengthening, teaching. Every burn is calculated. Every flame is measured. He knows exactly how much heat you can take. He's not careless. He's not cruel. He's intentional. He's loving. He's perfect in His wisdom. So if He allowed the fire, He already wrote your victory through it. You're not going to come out of this the same. You're going to come out cleaner, more focused, more grateful, more faithful, more unshakable. Because you'll know that no matter what this world throws at you, it can't break someone who's already been through hell and came out still saying, La ilaha illallah. You'll know that nothing and no one can touch you when Allah is your anchor. You'll walk with that quiet strength, that calm power that says, I've been tested by the Most High and I'm still standing. You want to know what brings a man to his knees? What brings a woman to tears in the middle of the night? What cracks a person open so deep that their soul screams out in desperation? It's not comfort. It's not luxury. It's not peace. It's pain. Real pain. Crushing pain. Pain that rips through your bones and leaves you staring at the ceiling wondering why you're even here. And that pain, it doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to introduce you to your Lord in a way that no easy life ever could. Because comfort never drives you to the edge. Comfort never makes you question your existence. Comfort never puts you in a place where the only words that come out of your mouth are Waya Allah. But hardship does. Struggle does. Loss does. Grief does. That heartbreak you're carrying. That betrayal that shattered your trust. That failure that keeps haunting you. It's not just random. It's the door to your awakening. It's the path that leads straight to the throne of Allah, if you choose to walk it. When you're in pain, nothing else matters. The distractions fall away. The noise dies down. The dunya that had your heart chained up, fame, status, people's opinions, it all fades. Because pain strips you down to your essence. It forces you to confront your emptiness. And in that moment, when nothing and no one can fix you, that's when you finally look up and realize who can. That's when you start building a relationship with Allah that comfort never pushed you to pursue. It's easy to believe in Allah when life is good. It's easy to say, Alhamdulillah, when your bank account's full, your body's healthy, your relationships are smooth. But true faith, that's what shows up when everything else falls apart. When the world turns its back on you. When your prayers feel dry. When your du'as feel unanswered. And yet you still turn to Him. You still say, Warab. That's not weakness. That's power. That's the kind of connection that's forged in fire, not in ease. Most people wait until life hits them in the chest before they remember their Creator. That's not an insult. That's the design. Allah knows you. He created you. He knows when you're coasting on autopilot. He knows when your faith is lip service. So sometimes He has to send hardship to shake you awake, to snap you out of your spiritual laziness, to rip away the distractions so you have no choice but to rely solely on Him. And when that happens, it's terrifying. But it's also beautiful, because that's when you discover a version of Allah you never knew before. In pain, you find His mercy. In struggle, you taste His nearness. In loss, you feel His presence. You cry and He listens. You beg and He responds. You fall apart and He holds you together. That's not something comfort can teach you. That's something only hardship delivers. That's the intimacy that only comes when everything else fails and you realize He's been there the whole time, just waiting for you to turn back. You don't build a strong relationship with Allah by memorizing quotes and scrolling through Islamic posts. You build it in the dark. You build it with swollen eyes and cracked voices. You build it when your back hits the ground and your heart hits rock bottom. And in that moment, the connection you form with Him, it changes everything. Because once you've tasted that kind of nearness, nothing else in the world will satisfy you. You'll stop chasing people. You'll stop worshipping validation. You'll stop seeking comfort in places that only give you numbness. Because you found the source. And when Allah becomes your anchor, this dunya loses its grip on you. You stop fearing loss. You stop obsessing over control. You stop crumbling every time life doesn't go your way. Because you know the one who's writing your story. And you trust Him. That kind of trust, it's not cheap. It doesn't come from lectures. It doesn't come from reading. It comes from the battlefield. From losing things you thought you couldn't live without. from sitting in the wreckage of your plans and realizing that Allah's plan was better. It comes from breaking, from bleeding, from screaming into your pillow and still praying after. That's when your relationship with Allah stops being religion and starts becoming love. You don't beg from someone you don't believe in. You don't cry to someone you don't trust. You don't fall in sajda night after night unless there's a fire inside you that knows He's listening. And every time you rise from that sujud, you rise a little stronger, a little clearer, a little closer, until the hardship that once felt like a curse becomes the very thing that made you who you are. The very thing that made you fall in love with your Lord. Some of the strongest believers you'll ever meet are the ones who've been through the most. Not because they're better, but because they've been broken. They've walked through the fire. They've sat in the silence. And they found Allah there. They didn't just read about Him. They didn't just talk about Him. They met Him in their pain. And that kind of relationship can't be faked. It can't be shaken. It can't be stolen. You want to build a relationship with Allah that lasts. You want to reach a level of faith where you can walk through storms and never flinch. Then you have to be willing to endure the pain. You have to stop praying for comfort and start praying for connection. Because comfort won't change you. Comfort won't save you. Comfort won't make you desperate for His mercy. But hardship will purify your heart until there's nothing left inside it but Him. That's the secret no one wants to say out loud. That sometimes the worst thing that ever happened to you is actually the best thing that ever happened for you. Because it forced you to find Him. It forced you to build something real. And once that relationship is real, it becomes your refuge, your fuel, your power source. So let the fire come. Let the hardship do its work. Because what it gives you is worth more than anything this world can offer, so now you know. Hardship isn't random. It's not senseless. It's not a curse. It's a divine signal. A message from your Creator. A declaration that you matter. That He hasn't forgotten you. That He's still working on you. That He refuses to leave you weak, fragile, and spiritually asleep. Because Allah only pushes those He plans to elevate. He only tests the ones He wants to transform. The struggle you're buried under isn't suffocating you. It's shaping you. The pain isn't meant to crush you. It's meant to clean you. Burn away your attachments. Burn away your arrogance. Burn away the layers that keep you from standing tall in front of Him, clean, sincere, and real. The fire you're in is not your enemy. It's your classroom. It's your forge. It's where you meet the strongest version of yourself. It's where your iman becomes unshakable. Where your tawakkul becomes lethal. Where your love for Allah stops being words and becomes unbreakable conviction. That's why it hurts so much. That's why it's so heavy. Because greatness always costs pain. Because purity always costs sacrifice. And Allah, in His infinite wisdom, sees what you can't. He sees what you need. And sometimes what you need is to be shattered before you can be built. So don't ask to escape it. Ask to be elevated through it. Don't ask for ease if it means drifting. Ask for sabr. Ask to survive it with your faith not just intact, but stronger than before. Because the ones who cry out, Wa Allah, when the whole world walks away, those are the ones who rise. Those are the ones He loves the most. Those are the ones He writes among His closest.